Hat Trick Hockey is brought to you in part by Eric Stendel, Remax Capital Diamond Realty, servicing Windsor, Lakeshore, Tecumseh, LaSalle, and Essex County. As a third-generation realtor with a decade-long track record of multi-million-dollar production, Eric Stendel brings a wealth of experience to the table. With specialties in residential resales, investment properties, and new construction sales, Eric Stendel tailors his approach to meet the unique needs of his clients, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Contact Eric Stendel, Remax Capital Diamond Realty today for all your real estate needs. Call or text 226-345-9199 or visit his website, ericstendel.com. That's ERICSTANDEL.com. If he's got 99 in his number, shouldn't that tell you something? Contact Eric Stendel today. What's going on, all you beauts and beauties? Welcome to the Hat Trick Hockey Podcast. Brought to you by GL Heritage Brewing Company, the official beer of HTH. I am your host, Brett Hedges. On this week's show, the Leamington Flyers and Milton Menace throw down. The Spitfires pound the Hounds. The Essex 73s sweep Petrolia in the West Finals. And Alex Ovechkin is the greatest NHL goal scorer of the modern era. Welcome into Hat Trick Hockey Podcast, episode 191. I am Brett Hedges, once again, with Tristan McGuire and the creator of the show, Ant Gaudette. Thank you for joining us. A big shout out to everyone tuning in who are Essex 73s fan, the Western Conference champions. We will get into that in just a few moments. If you guys are fans of the show, make sure you follow us on YouTube and all of our social media handles. Make sure you pound that like. And of course, Ant, we just got a brand new merch store with all of our updated merchandise and t-shirts. And I didn't know we had sandals. You guys want sandals with
Yeah, we do now. We do now. Well, you know, summer months are here, so why not?
Hell yeah. Also, if you guys are listening,
a broken leg,
yes,
buy a sandal.
Yes, you get
a big oversized one.
I'm half off right now.
You're half off right now.
Half off.
I like that better.
He's only gonna need the left one for quite a while.
Yeah.
Guys, all of our folks at home, when you're listening on your whatever app you're finding us on, make sure you give us a 5-star rating. I know lots of people like to listen to us on Spotify. Let's hammer those 5-star ratings for us. Helps us get sponsors and get us across the marketing, and that is potent. I mean, is prescient because why, Ant?
Well, I was gonna actually bring up real quick first about the community votes thing. How we're going for our third year in a row. So everybody, the link is on our page. So smash that.
Yeah.
Get the boys in the gold again, at least gold. I think we've got a gold and a silver so far. So, but we have, I want to say, kind of like a partnership and a new sponsor.
Okay, which one do you want to talk about first?
We'll go the new sponsor first. So we got Mag Removers. These guys are incredible. Yeah, there you go. So they helped me move into this lovely house that we're in right now. These guys are incredible. If you want them for 4 hours, you can have them for 4 hours. If you want them for 8 hours, you can get them for 8 hours. They do everything. They take down your furniture, obviously move it into your next place. They took down everything. Trampoline. Everything they did for me, they were phenomenal. They were very cost efficient too. They show up on time. They're super nice guys. They don't fuck your shit up, so that's always good too. And they're incredible guys. I would recommend them 10 out of 10 times. Trust me, guys, use them. They are amazing.
Yep.
Use them.
And they make nice sweaters.
They do. As Brett was just going off right there. It's a pretty crispy sweater.
Yeah, Carhartt.
It's Carhartt too.
For
the working man.
Spare no expense.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. It's been a little chilly in the mornings when I walk my dog. I've been wearing this sweater all over the place. It's fantastic. Mag Removing, we've got ourselves an ad in the can ready to go in our rotation as well. So you hear more about them as this partnership moves along as we get things done with Mag Removing. And of course, the most recent sponsorship, ambassadorship that we've kind of now recently gone into. Explain that a little bit more for us.
We're going to be linking up with good old BioSteel.
Yeah.
So BioSteel is now kind of teaming up with us. We're going to be doing some stuff with them, probably some content, I would assume. We're going to, we have a little promo code, HTH Podcast, all caps.
Yep.
So if you go on their site and you order stuff from them or whatever you order, merch, water bottles, shakers, drinks, powders, whatever they have, you can go on there, you can order. If you use our code, 20% off your bill. So be sure to hit that. That's a great percentage savings. So, and BioSteel is awesome, man. I drink that stuff all the time. The White Freeze is amazing. Which one of it do you like? Which flavor?
I'm gonna be honest.
I've had
exact flavor. I think it's a watermelon flavor. It's the green one, strawberry.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that one.
I had like an ice cold like peach one when I was covering the track and field championships, and that cracking that after a broadcasting on a long day. Oh,
ice
it
cold
felt so good in the throat and the vocal cords too. It was great. It was peach something, and it was fantastic. So wow, thank you, BioSteel. Welcome on board. That promo code once again in all caps is HTH Podcast, PODCAST. And you could save between $6 and $20 basically, or 20% off your order.
Depending on what you get. If you get the normal 12-pack case, you're saving like I think between $6 and $8, I think. And if you're getting the Big Daddy and you're getting the one that's like 100 of them or something or whatever, the little mixy things or whatever, it's around 94, so it's around $100, but you would save almost $20 off of that one too. So
yeah. Got to save money anytime you can. And we were just peeking at their site earlier today, and they've got deals on stuff going on all the time there. I saw one thing, a 12-pack was on 40% off, so you just never know. And I looked at all the products, and they've got thousands of 5-star reviews. Each individual product has its own like rating system and stuff. So very exciting stuff, and we're really excited to get involved with them. And we've said a lot of the good things about BioSteel because their athletes are all over the place in our region, including some guys on the 73s and including some guys getting drafted in the OHL. In what league do you guys want to start this week? The OJHL, the PJHL, the OHL, the NHL, the draft? Where you guys want to go?
Well, you had brought up at the start of the Leamington Flyers game, the melee that broke out against
in 3.
Oh,
yeah,
living up to the name. I
Holy
see.
Smokes!
Yeah. So we were watching which game were we watching that night? Was that Tuesday night? Yeah, that was Tuesday night.
What game were we watching? We were all.
No, that was the 73s playing at. It was the 73s game at home against Petrolia. We came to your house after.
Yeah, and then that game was wild though. That like Menace and like Flyers. I've never seen two guys go like that before the puck even. And there was 2 minors that were called before those guys even went. So before the puck even dropped, there was already 4 penalties assessed.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. We're sitting in your garage and my dad called me. He's like, "Hey, I just came from the Leamington game. I saw something I'd never seen in my whole life." He said, "A fight before even the opening puck drop." And I said, "Well, we gotta line up that clip right now." And it kind of blew up on the page. And like, what kind of were you happy with the response that you saw from people? Getting involved with the hockey and local stuff here.
Our page right now is buzzing, and that is thanks to all of you beauts and beauties out there that smash our posts and comment and share and everything. You guys have done a fantastic job as of that lately, so thank you on that. But yeah, it's at like 94,000 views or something like that and change. It's insane. We're at like 50 or 60 shares on it. I think there's like 330 likes. Like, first of all, you guys are a bunch of savages because I posted some pretty sick goals on there lately, and you savages like the fights more than you do the goals. So you know what? We're gonna ramp up the scraps. When I see a good one, it's going on the page. So we're gonna do that. But I'm still gonna post the goals, guys. Let's talk about the goals here too. Okay, like there's the little thing on the ice that you pass around the puck. There's one of those out there too. Okay, so we still have to use that.
Our sponsored athlete.
Yes.
Of course, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But that's
still. Yeah, that's getting a lot of traction even just from posting it earlier today. So
I was told too that those guys that fought off the opening draw there, well, not opening draw, didn't even make it to the face-off. They got a 3-game suspension each. I was told.
Wow.
That was it. It was 2. It was originally three, went down to two. I did check the suspensions page for that.
Okay.
They are both going to be eligible for game five. I don't know if the two games does it count because they didn't even get started in game
I
three?
would assume
Not
that
even
that would count as one.
You know what? That's probably what knocked it down to 2 games.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe they
I
did
would
get
imagine.
3, but they're gonna
Count that as the
count that as
initial game.
one. Yeah.
Well, I'll have to keep an eye on the game sheets for game five, but that's an interesting development, right? Because the game hadn't even started yet, right? That's
Can I
almost
ask
like
something,
it's
though?
almost like getting kicked out of warm up, right?
I gotta ask you guys something. What the hell were the linesmen doing? Like, get out of there.
Yeah, let them go.
Let the boys go. They're trying to set the tone here. Let them go. Like, especially it's the playoffs. Like, they're kicked out of the game anyways. Let the boys get their money's worth.
And by getting in the way, all you're doing is building frustration for the rest of the game. So you're allowing it to get out of hand before it even happens. And now you gotta try and ref 60 minutes of hockey fairly between two clubs that already hate each other enough that they're going at it before a first whistle is blown.
Brutal.
So
Oh well. But then later on, the Milton Menace then took a 2-1 series lead because they scored a 3-2 win on the road in Leamington. And then they followed that up on the night of this recording with a 4-1 win in game 4. Milton now in the driver's seat in that series, and the Leamington Flyers are down to their last life. What a difference a few days makes in these series, right? You know, it was a 2-1 lead for Milton, right? You go into this, you're either tied 2-2 or you're down 3-1, and right now they are living on the razor's edge because they're down 3-1.
Yeah, the Flyers. You know, the thing about Leamington is you look at teams like them and they tend to not bode very well in the playoffs. And it's just something, I don't know if it's like in the NHL they talk about the President's Trophy curse. They finished atop the league and they come into the playoffs, all of a sudden they don't look so hot in this Milton series. And Milton's a team that obviously they had some trouble with in the regular season. For the most part, they took care of them with ease. I believe it was only Trenton that kind of gave them some trouble in the regular season, but Flyers steamrolled regular season, and now in the playoffs, in 4 games against a team that they beat in the regular season, they've dropped 3. And now how do you come out of that? You have the talent to do it, but can you live up to it? I don't know.
The only thing too, the playoffs are always a different animal, man. It's a completely. A team could be garbage during the like regular season, and then as soon as that playoff hits, it's like a switch.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't want to say like, oh, they would never do it, but are we surprised though? Like, it's playoff hockey, boys.
Yeah, for sure. Milton is a solid squad. I mean, it was a 2-1 game, and then there was 2 empty netters, so to make it 4-1. So it's obviously they're scratching and clawing, right? It's 2-1 until the last minute of the game. Yeah. So you know, it was 1-1 going into the third period. Ashton Pacheco for Milton scores 3:15 in, and the rest is history, right? Yeah. So 3-1. Now Leamington goes back to their barn for the next game on Sunday. That's going to be at 7:00 in Leamington. A big game, you know, biggest game of the year and biggest game for that franchise, right? They're trying to get to the OJHL final. They got to the conference final last year. They lost in 4 games to Collingwood. This year they've won a game in the series, and now they're down to their last out. Yeah. So let's see what kind of team that Dale Mitchell and that organization by Justin Schultze, he got the OJHL GM of the year. Let's see what kind of fight they can pull in game 5 here. Game 5 is going to be Sunday, April 13th at 7. Game 6, if necessary, would be Tuesday, April 15th in Milton at 7:30. And then game 7 would be Thursday, April 17th at 7:10. Do any of you guys have any other thoughts on the OJ?
Just dig deep.
Yeah, well, let's go. When is that game 5, Brett?
Sunday.
Game 5 is Sunday.
Okay.
In Leamington. At 7:10.
Alrighty. Well, I know this. Leamington's goaltender, Marcus Vandenberg, he just got top goaltender of the OJHL award. Yes. So he needs to kind of, and it's not even been his fault. As you mentioned, every game has been a 1-goal game, and then you get those empty netters. And that makes a difference. Obviously, over on the Menace's side of things, they have just as an equal, if not a better goaltender in this playoff series. But Vandenberg, he needs to get some goals in front of him because I think he's been doing his job just fine. And Leamington's offense, Colton Smith leads the regular season in goals. He's got to wake up. I think he's got to start to come alive and find a way to crack that defense as well as goaltending of the Menace and maybe claw the Flyers way back into the series.
So predictions for Game 5? Score?
I think that Leamington's going to use their big ice to their advantage, and they might get on the power play a couple more times because of that. And I think they're going to get a 4-2 win on home ice on Sunday.
I was going to say 5-2 Leamington.
Oh.
So maybe a 3-2 lead with an empty netter or two. We're thinking.
Yeah,
that'd be
I'm gonna say 3-2 Flyers in overtime.
Ooh,
Love
some
it.
drama.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
love it. I'll be watching from Florida.
I'll be watching probably right here from my garage.
Um,
Quick update on the ankle, Ant, before we skip to the PJHL playoffs.
It's broke. It still hurts. Edibles are a great thing, and that's about it.
Tristan, anything else on Leamington? Lol, look at that wing right there for our YouTube
I
audience.
will say this: Leamington is one of the best hockey towns in Ontario.
Yeah.
Flyers games are one of my favorite things about Windsor, Essex County. Going to Leamington, the fans are fantastic, as they should be, because that's what the term implies. But I just feel like it would be a big win. Obviously, maybe if you don't win the series, if you can get this Game 5 win and go with a bang on home ice as the last game of your regular season, that's what you want to see. The players play their absolute best in front of the hometown.
Let's fill the barn here, Leamington. Let's go. The boys need you.
Yeah.
For sure. That is, once again, that's going to be game at Sunday, April 13th at 7:10. That's Nature Fresh Farms Rec Center in Windsor. And of course, you can watch that on Flow Hockey as well. Let's head over to the Provincial Junior Hockey League, where we are now down to the final 5 because 3 of the 4 series are finished. The Essex 73s sweep the Petrolia Flyers. They are the first team to clinch their series victory. And then it was a 4-game sweep. Pretty interesting. It was a very interesting series of 4 games. It was I thought maybe never mind. I'm just tired. I'm gonna switch it over to you guys about what your thoughts about the Petrolia series are. And congratulations to the 73s on the Western Conference Championship. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Proud of the 73s, obviously. That's a title we honestly didn't even I was talking to the guys in the stands and some of the players too before the game, and we didn't really know what to expect because we're thinking in that Game 4, if we win, do we get something? We didn't know if there was a banner involved, or do you shake hands, or is it just kind of we didn't really know what it was all about. But we found out we didn't get a banner. But just as a whole, obviously looking back on the series, first off, congratulations to Petrolia Flyers, 2025 YEC Division champions in their own right. That's obviously was something big for them. So after 2 years after switching divisions from the Stovs, they clinch a championship. So props to them in that regard. But in every other aspect of the game, Essex controlled the series from start to finish, and it wasn't a contest at all. Unfortunately.
That team can fly though, man.
They
can move. They hit a lot. They're very physical, but they couldn't stay out of the box too. And Essex is really good on the power play. You can't give those guys any time or freaking space to shoot because guys like Patty right now, Santi who's starting to heat up, who else has been scoring a lot lately?
Gouvermont and Piccolo really lit it up this series.
Bugsy had 2 as well, didn't he?
Yeah, in the 1 game.
Yeah. So,
but Piccolo had 6 goals this series.
Yeah.
So he came right alive at the right time.
Oh.
He almost had the goal of the series last night. Jumped up over the goaltender and just fanned on a backhand. But he's been a great captain for us all playoffs long, especially this series. Hopefully, this can help get him rolling and be the player he can be for the remainder of the playoffs. Obviously, he's always a good leader, but points wise now, you could tell the difference from last year's playoffs. You look at the points, the big guys just weren't there. And this year, it's funny. We looked at the overall scoring in the league, and this is something we had discussed earlier in the day. We have no top scorers in the top 8, and yet still we have 102 goals, which is the most in the league by 9. Which you think about that, how deep of a team are we?
By committee.
We've got about, I think it's around 6 or 7 guys who are hanging at a point a game, which is unbelievable through the playoffs. One of them is our 16-year-old Matthew Crawford. He had a great series. Obviously, that line of Crawford with Rive and Jimenez just lit it up. And last night it was Crawford with Jimenez and Barrett, who looked outstanding altogether. So just everyone is getting hot at the right time right now, and especially what restored the confidence not only in the boys playing in front of him, but I'm sure himself, Adrian McBride, saved us last game, because I will give credit to Petrolia. They started that game flying, as Flyers do.
Absolutely.
They outshot us in the first period almost double. I believe it actually was double in the first period, just laying it on Essex. McBride with some big stick side saves, splitting it out. Not only that, I want to give a shout out to Tyler Fleming. He saved a sure goal. If you watch back Cam Sinizak's video, wide open net for the Flyers, and Fleming tied up his man and kicked it out with a skate right off the goal line. Kept it at a 0-0 game, and then Gabe Piccolo rips one and makes it 1-0. So that was, for Essex, the momentum changer to get out of that first period with a lead. That saved us, and it was McBride and Fleming who kept it at that.
Not bad for a shutdown guy, Flem.
When I tell you, Flem,
exactly.
That looks like a shutdown guy move.
Yeah, Flem was one of 3 guys who registered 0 points on Tuesday night. So we're giving the big shout out for that one.
Ouch!
Let me do a quick
Go on, buddy.
Oh yeah, Flemsky.
Let me do a quick recap here. So game 1 was on Friday, April 4th. The Essex 73s took home a 4-1 win. That was a 3-1 game, and then Essex got an empty netter to make it 4-1. Then they went on the road to Petrolia and took a 7-1 win on Sunday night. Double back to Essex on Tuesday, the 8th, for a Tuesday night game. Essex puts up 11 goals in an 11-3 game. This was 7-3 in the second period when I showed up. And then when they got the 8th goal, I believe it was Piccolo that got the 8th goal. Kind of the shoulders were able to sigh a little bit because they restored that 5-goal lead. We saw a Mateo Trifon goal in that game as well. Patty McManus had a nice finish on a 2-on-1 too, and Essex puts up 11 goals, the most I've seen in the PJHL this year. And then we go down to Petrolia for game 4. Tristan, your boots were on the ground for that game. Essex was up 3-2 going into the third period there, and then take us through the third period as you saw it.
So obviously through the third period, just the major difference was we played in their end. We got back to basics. I noticed I was sitting right behind the bench. Paraski was very deliberate in who he was putting on the ice and at what times he did that. And we took advantage of our power plays. Carter Dominski had a big goal that restored, I believe it was at the time, 2-goal lead. Maybe the third. Yeah, no, it was a 2-goal lead. And then Gabe Barrett off the draw, rifles one. And just from there on out, it was Essex controlled pace of play. And the thing with the Flyers was if you got a 2-goal lead on them, they were kind of, I don't know, it was unnecessary because at 3-2 was when they took that penalty. And it was just unneeded. And it's like, what are you doing? You had a chance to tie. And the guys who showed up for the Flyers all series, maybe not all series, but they were the ones getting the points for them, were their major guys. To be expected. It was Austin Harper, former Sergeant Sting, and Tobias Ian Torno, who spent time in the OJHL. So they both scored the goals that evening, but that would be all. Adrian McBride was just stellar at the opposite end. And that in combination with the 73s getting quick goals in the third period was really what sunk Petrolia. And they didn't try too much funny business, but there was one play I will call out. Egregious slash on Luke Shirk. And it wasn't like Shirk was trying to play up for a call. He went off in pain. I've never seen Luke Shirk seen Luke Shirk in that much pain. He was genuinely sitting on the bench, almost brought to tears by a slash that came up high just above the elbow to the bicep area. And that wasn't a hockey play. It was just stupid. So it's deserved that we won because we were the better team. We were the more disciplined team. And we were the more well-coached team. And that showed in the aforementioned two things I just said. So we won the series for all the right reasons.
Yeah, what he said.
I just heard Ant's shoulder make a sound like a 22. Are you good there, buddy?
I think so.
Oh, man. That was a crisp one. That was crispy.
So, first of all, game 3, they were scoring at such a clip. I couldn't even keep up on socials.
Yeah.
It was like, I felt like I was looking at my phone for half the game because all I was doing was freaking score updates. It was brutal. But I'm just happy that we're out of there. No one got kicked out. No one got super hurt.
Yeah.
So we're pretty well going in with a pretty well full. What's good too is we're going to get some rest before the next round, before the Smalls Cup semifinals.
Yeah.
So we're going to get some rest ahead. I'm sure we're going to be on the ice and skating and practicing and everything. It's not going to be like days off, but it's nice to just go through early and be well rested, because do we really know who we're going to have?
So as of right now, you might see online some discussion as to like deliberation, who are we actually going to play? As of right now, to the best of my knowledge, we would play the winner of the series that is still currently going on, New Hamburg and Grimsby. Okay. And that is the consensus as of right now. That's who we would play. That series is tied 2-2. The only series that is not finished yet. Grimsby just won. Big win, 5-3 to pull back even in the series. I personally think the Peach Kings are going to come away with the Southern Division title. Southern Conference.
I mean, we want that to go 7, right? To give our guys more rest. Right?
Yeah, of course. And just to see good hockey. Like those two clubs are pretty even. You look at the scores, it's back and forth for wins. But I think Grimsby will take control of the series with their goaltending and their defensive style of play. I always like teams that play that way. It leads to better hockey games, and it tends to bode better in playoffs. We see that's why I took the win over Alliston. Yeah. Alliston just didn't perform well with that run and gun style in the playoffs, and evidently New Hamburg, who relies heavily on their output from I forget the guy's name, but there's someone his last name's like Pellerino or something. It's an Italian last name, but anyway.
Pasqualino.
Pasqualino, thank you. Anthony Pasqualino, I think is his name. Yeah, we'll see. I think Grimsby is just more deep, and their goaltender has performed very, very well for them in this playoff run.
So we're expecting to probably start that series probably late next week, right?
I would imagine Friday, but then again, I think the series now for home ice is decided by coin flip, as well as
ridiculous.
What color jersey you wear. I think it goes, whoever wins it, you get to pick home ice, and then the other gets to pick white or dark jerseys.
Who gives a shit about the jersey? Like,
I want to wear dark at home though.
Really? I don't think it's that important.
Okay. Well, you're sitting there with a broken leg, so.
Well, it's because I'm full send, buddy. 110% every shift.
Just to clarify, Antonio Pasqualino for New Hamburg. He has 13 goals and 12 assists in 21 games this year. He is just behind Owen Fisher, who has 10 goals and 16 assists for New Hamburg.
Yeah.
This playoff.
Antonio Pasqualino. What a name.
Awesome name. We've had some really good ones. You know what? One name I want to talk about before I talk to you guys about the other two series. Matthew Crawford for the Essex 73s.
Yeah.
16-year-old, picked by the Peterborough Petes, was one of their last cuts in the offseason. This kid's been fantastic in the playoffs. 22 points in 19 games. He had a goal and an assist in game 4. And he's got 10 goals and 22 assists in the playoffs for 22 points. 1 point behind Patrick McManus, a guy who's going to turn 22. Like, this kid's been playing very well. What are your thoughts on what you've seen from him this year?
He looks like a veteran right now. just the way he's playing, he's everywhere.
He's built like a veteran.
And he is too. But he's a really good face-off guy too. Like not a lot. Like I never really kind of zoned into how he was on draws. He's a pit bull.
Yeah.
When he's in there, but he's got an incredible shot. He knows where to be on the ice. He just seems like he's always in the right spot at the right time. And Matty too, I've seen them play him in all situations as well. Like I've seen him on the power play, I've seen him on the penalty kill.
Yeah.
For a kid to go in at 16 years old in his first year of junior hockey and to put up these kind of numbers and the poise that he has had in these games is very impressive. So good on you, Matty.
Yeah, well, he fits in perfectly into Tony Borowski's system. And you think back 20 years ago, our Schmaltz Cup finals, and we're playing the Grimsby Peach Kings. There was a guy who was very similar to him, similar build, similar style of play, also playing under Tony Borowski, RJ Hotz. Reminds me a lot of Matthew Crawford reminds me a lot of RJ Hotz. And if he could be that for the rest of the Schmaltz Cup playoffs, we'll be golden. Because just the way he plays along the boards last night. Also, I want to correct my prior statement. It wasn't Barrett playing with Jimenez and Crawford. It was actually Jesse Mercier who slotted in as well. Merce come up as a AP, left Lakeshore earlier this year, played for us in the Walpole series, played for us again, helped clinch this series. They played terrific together. As I said, it's just that cycle game along the boards. Yeah. They do so well with it. And that Crawford, he digs in and wins the draws clean, and just the awareness. Like him and Jimenez, they've got a special connection. I expect to see Crawford from Jimenez and vice versa for the remainder of this playoffs, because that's what it was last night.
They're dogs.
They're dogs.
There
you go.
One last thing that I'll point out about the 73s is that they got 12 players in the playoffs that have double-digit points, and they've got 9 guys with 16 points or more in the playoffs.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that good?
So they might not be in the top 10 in playoff scoring across the league, but the lineup is pretty deep. So
and that's considering some of our better players in recent games. Obviously, we talk about Santiago. He's only played 10 games. So
yes.
Once he's played the remainder of the playoffs, expect him to surpass that 15-point mark. Mm-hmm. And these are guys we're talking about. Matthew Crawford plays on what we call our fourth line. He's our fourth line center. Just think about that.
1D.
Exactly. That's what it is, though. And our depth is what's going to continue to help us win games in these playoffs. I don't think any other team has a top 12 that they can roster that looks like us. Even our APs, you think about one of our APs won a Schmaltz Cup last year, Jesse Mercier. One of our APs who's playing right now got 112 points in his AAA season, Santi. So, we're not to be trifled with, not to mention Jackson Blair, who went over 2 points a game with Riverside Rebels last year, Riverside Rangers last year, under Brendan Jones's stewardship. So,
it all ties back to Jonesy. What was that trip like back on the drive home?
He's probably just dropping lit dinners in like it's going outside. Jonesy's probably just lit. Okay, yes, like this. Yeah. I know you, Jonesy. I know you, buddy. I know you better than you know yourself at times, okay? But
Brendan's awesome.
He was so funny. So when we were there I was there for game 1.
Yeah.
And I looked down the hallway, and Jonesy's just got his lip just stretched out, just packing him in there. I was like, get him in there, Jonesy. But yeah, he's a beauty, and but yeah, so he was definitely.
I actually didn't ride with him.
Really?
He took the bus. Lucky guy. But I rode with 2 former executives, Gord, I believe Ainsbury is his last name, and Mark Nikita, as well as current executive TJ Dugdale.
TJ, yeah,
so
beauty. Yeah.
No, those guys were all great to ride with. We share many similar opinions, so it was great to hear some concert to what I've been trying to bring up as a point.
What are you doing?
What was Brett up to there?
Sorry, my thing was out of focus, so I was trying to make.
Anyway, but it was great riding up with them, and just a little little under a 2-hour trip there up to Petrolia, taking the back roads through Dresden and that. So, great trip. Not much to see up that way. It's pretty much the same as Essex County, very rolling hills and farmland.
Yep. Good old Oil Springs, Ontario.
Yeah, there you go. You get the pump jacks every couple kilometers on the side of 401 and you're good to go. But what are you laughing
I don't know. I just think it's funny that you notice that shit. I've drove that 401 a zillion times. I've never.
It's like, oh, the sky's blue today.
Yeah. I hardly go outside with this fucking thing right now. I don't even know what it's like outside half the time.
There you go.
This light thing sucks.
Oh yeah.
I
But
can't imagine. But why would you need to go outside when you have PJHL on live stream?
Exactly.
Well, because I'm
On
just
demand.
sitting here fucking getting fat. Now I'm like climbing up the stairs. I can feel now it's like I'm like an episode of fucking.
He said a broken leg for 1 week, and this guy's already
Actually, it's been 2 weeks.
punching his ticket.
Oh yeah, I'm just getting rounder. Rounds of shape, right? So we're in shape.
Round's a shape.
Yeah.
That's right.
Rounds
Round is a shape. The other two series in the Eastern Conference Final, the Napanee Raiders swept the Clarington Eagles, which a lot of people were surprised about.
Yeah, there you go.
You know who that's for.
And
I don't think he watches this. He's probably banned from YouTube. But
So funny. Sorry, Brett. Go ahead, buddy.
no, it's all good. And in the series that we've just finished watching before we started recording, the Hanover Barons defeated the Iridilia Terriers in their series 4-1 to win the North Conference there. So not like dude, the Napanee Raiders and the Hanover Barons look very formidable. So it should be an interesting series between those two, should they play once that is determined.
That Eagles series actually kind of shocked me because that team's a wagon,
Yeah.
dude. Like they were mashing teams all season, and then they started the run really good.
yeah, they're
And then
12-0.
then it just seemed like a switch, like someone just hit a switch, man. Like I don't know. And then when I did the Eagles thing, I'm just ruffling feathers. You guys see what I did there? But yeah, it's just I can't believe that it was just like a switch like that just flicked, and it was just like boom, 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 and then they were gone. Like that was quick.
Yeah, it was.
Was it sweep, right?
It was a sweep.
Oh, yeah, they were
Yeah, so-
dispatched.
Wow,
Very quickly.
that's crazy.
Napanee won game 1 3-1, then they won game 2 3-1, and then they won game 3 3-2. We watched that game in your basement, and we didn't get to see the overtime winning goal.
Oh,
And
we got
then-
about 5'10" and 270 pounds though.
So
Great front and center.
down in front there. Jesus, guys, figure it out. Holy
No, we're good. We're good. It's an honest mistake, but they shut the stream off right before they scored.
I know how many beers
Yeah, I
that
was
guy drank who was standing next to the camera. I was counting them. I seen you. Okay. But actually, so that
I was double OT. Double OT.
yeah. So that
Yes.
goal is actually on the site now.
Oh, good.
One of their fans who was gracious enough, I wish I had her name, but she because I said, why'd you guys shut off the stream? We didn't get to see the goal, and she actually threw the goal up there for us.
Good.
So
Oh,
I
sweet.
will
Thank you.
screen record that and
Yep.
send it to you. But yeah, so thanks to her for that. I'm sorry I don't know your name, but yeah, big shout out to her for that. Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Like, 2-2 goal games, one an overtime game, and then in game 4, it just seemed like Napanee just held the edge, and just Clarington just didn't have enough fight left on them, right?
Yeah. They're interesting teams to watch because they play a similar style. It just seemed Napanee was better at every aspect of the game that the Eagles were trying to match or mirror, I should say. I think Napanee is very physical, and they're similar to the 73s in that they generate a lot of their plays coming off the boards. They like to cycle the puck. They like to dump and chases seem to be their MO. And again, it's kind of scoring by committee there. They have a pretty deep roster, and their goaltender is massive. He is big in net. I was watching him make saves. His pads, oh my gosh. Big player. So he made the difference for them in that overtime game, certainly. Double overtime.
He was very stellar. It was a fun back and forth game. There was a lot of chances both ways. I think we saw some penalties too. So they had extra guys on the ice. It it was really fun to watch. And then it ended in early in the double overtime period there, and then they took the 3-0 series lead, and we're like, okay, well, here we go, down to their last lap. But Clarington, after a run in which they went to the finals a couple of times, right, Tristan?
Yeah, so 3 years in a row. So yeah,
Wow.
that's a tough go for them. So obviously the first year back from COVID, they play up in, I think it might have been Woodstock, or
It was
was that
Guelph, I think.
that one?
Well, the Guelph was the second year, right? Was the tournament?
Yeah, I think Woodstock was 2 years ago, or 3 years ago rather.
Yeah.
So the first year back from COVID, they played Lakeshore in the finals. Lakeshore won that 2-1 in overtime off a Dylan Weston forehand backhand tuck. So a tough way to lose. You lose the series. Like there wasn't any series. It was one game.
Yeah, it was tournament.
That determined your Schmaltz Cup. And they lost that 2-1 in an OT. So they came oh so close. The year after, Lakeshore's eliminated by Wellesley. Applejacks go in the finals. Clarington's back there again in the tournament style. They lose again. I believe that was a close game too. It was like 4-2 with an empty net, something along those lines. And then last year, we finally get to see a full series where Clarington is back in the finals. They come out of that I guess we'll say like the northeastern side of the bracket. And they just couldn't get it done.
Yep.
Lakeshore was all over them, won it in 5 games, so on the road in their barn. So who knows? And this year, obviously, it's an early exit for them. They were coming in 12-0 out of their division, and they lose 4 straight.
Yep. Well, they ran into another division winner, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get to this stage of the playoffs, you find out what kind of team you are. You find out if you've got enough to make it a series, or if you find out if you're going to get swept. And
Brett,
for
I was just going to say, if you have it in front of you, who did Napanee play in their divisional final?
Napanee played the Frankfurt Huskies.
Ah, yes, the Huskies. So they were a good club as well. I believe did they win their division?
That would have been the Todd division final. So they won that. So yeah, so Napanee won the Todd division,
but
over Frankfurt.
I think Frankfurt might have been ranked ahead. But either way, that my point stands that
yes, they were. They were the higher ranked team.
exactly, and we've seen that in multiple series. Grimsby swept their finals over Dundas to come out of their division. Napanee wins it was 5, right, or 6.
It was in 6. Actually, Napanee, now with that 4-game sweep, Napanee has won 7 games in a row.
There you go. So
yeah, so they were down 2-1 in that series to Frankfurt. They lost 3-1, and then they won 4-1 in game 2. They lost game 3 5-1, and then they rattled off 3 straight wins. They won 4-1, 4-1, and 6-3 in game 7.
You know who else
has won
7 in a row?
Who?
These boys right here.
Yeah, 6, 7.
You're not on the same page.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you want to know who else has won?
Yeah, and I'd like a tally on how many goals we've scored in those last 7 games, because it's
Lots.
a big number. But either way, Napanee, Hanover, if that is the matchup to beat, who are you taking?
Well, I just wanted to say that Hanover lost their opening game of their series to Aurelia, and then they won 4 straight. So they did the gentleman's sweep, where they let the visitor come into their barn in game 1, take the win, and then they won the next 4. And Hanover looked very impressive across this entire series. I believe I watched game 3 and 5. I watched game 3 and 5, and I listened in game 4 because I couldn't watch it on the site for some reason. So. This was a fun series to listen to and watch and take it in, but Hanover looked very impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, and you could tell with each game, Aurelia's confidence was starting to dwindle. And Hanover has a very good goaltender. They have some good forwards up front, McGilvery, Colhoun. They get it done. Maloney tonight as well. He played very well.
Dukeshire.
Yeah, of course, everyone, he's got this nickname, the Duke. And I'm like, you know what? If I was playing junior C hockey and I got a nickname like that, I'd be on top of the world. Like, the announcers say it like it's, oh yeah, that's the Duke. It's just like, yeah.
That's awesome.
But we've got a Patty, so we'll see.
That's true.
I'm thinking, but if there's so much parallels between Essex and Hanover, it's funny. Because I watched them play, and that Colhoun, identical skater, identical to Gabe Piccolo. Fast, short, quick strides, left-hand shot. McGilvery, not the fastest skater, but he can dangle through everybody. Looks exactly like Patrick McManus. Like, they very much similar. The only difference is their goaltender seems like an amalgam of our two. He's in between the height of Brogan and Adrian, but he also plays the puck quite well. So we'll see. He's kind of similar to Porowski now that I think about it. Just to watch him play.
So it could be New Hamburg and Hanover, right?
It could be New Hamburg or Grimsby because that series has yet to be determined.
So if you had to choose of any of those teams or versus like Hanover, who are you taking?
What?
Who would you have?
Out of the 4 teams left?
Yeah.
Who would I want to play?
No.
I want to play the
Hanover's
team
next opponent. What do you think will happen in that series? How many games?
Hanover is going to play Napanee if it happens. I think Hanover wins.
In 6?
4 straight? I was going to say 6.
4 straight.
Well, someone's got to lose. Both these teams haven't lost in a while.
The asses over there, eh? Oh,
I think there's a lot of disparity between those divisions.
Yeah, for sure.
We've seen the crossover where you're like, this team looks really good. Petroleum won the YEC. Yeah, they also got outscored like 33-7. So it's very relative, relative. And
it's all about
matchups too, they're coming out of a tight area, and the Eagles ran their division. And from what I watched in Napanee is, I think on that big ice, they might get exposed in Hanover because Hanover plays a different level of hockey. They play like a PJHL club, not too dissimilar to the 73s, even more freely skating. They don't dump and chase as much. They almost always enter the zone with possession.
Yeah, you've got a bunch of guys that can score.
Yeah, I'm saying maybe Napanee seals the game, but take no offense to this if you're a Raiders fan. It's funny because there's Napanee Raiders and there's Napian Raiders, which are in the CCHL. So it always messes with my head which team is which. But I'll say Hanover and Fork. What are you saying, Ant?
I was gonna say 6 games, but now you got me second guessing myself.
Yeah,
but I'll say in 5. Hanover in 5.
Give me the Napanee Raiders in 7, baby.
Oh, you would.
Let's go.
Oh, look out!
I think these two teams are gonna have a fun chess match if they win. It's gonna be one game at a time because I think Napanee might be a little bit more of the defensive club, and Hanover is a little bit more of the offensive club. But I think in the games that Hanover wins, it's gonna be like 5-6-1, that kind of thing. If Napanee's going to win, they're going to have to make it 2-1, 3-2 in overtime, that kind of thing. So the way that these games are played will depend on who's home ice, who gets home ice in the playoffs, right? Yeah. And kind of how the referees play these games too, and how they're policed early in the game. Couple of stats I just wanted to talk about. Hanover's got a bunch of guys with a bunch of points in the playoffs here. McGilvery's got 39 points. Alex McGilvery has 39 points. Mark McIntosh has 39 points. Ryan Cole has 29 points. Where's the next one? And Aaron Dukeshire has 22 points with 14 goals there. So, Kyle Maloney has 29 points as well. So lots of firepower on that Hanover team. And it should be a lot of fun watching whoever they play. Eric McNeil is the big scorer for Napanee. He's got 27 points in the playoffs.
Damn. And I love it because our leading point getter's got 23?
Yeah, 23. Patty's got.
We scored 102 goals. That should make you shake in your boots. We're terrifying.
What did we say about the New Hamburg Grimsby series? Is that going 7?
I think Peach Kings in 6 or 7, personally. They know how to get it done. They were second in their division and they swept the finals. They are well coached and they're dangerous because they got a good goaltender and good goaltender will steal you those games. We saw Brogan Colhoun come alive for us. He won us that Lakeshore series. I think Grimsby's goalie is going to do that for them.
All right. Well, we're gonna find out real quick because they have they back to back the Saturday Sunday for games 5 and 6. So we'll see how that goes.
So, yeah,
Any other thoughts on the PJ?
No.
that was our.
Okay, let's go local first in the OHL. The OHL draft was tonight. The first round was completed. The first three rounds were completed. The local boy, Yako Wysick,
Yeah.
goes number 2 overall to the Guelph Storm, a
Good for
team that
Yako.
badly needs someone with his size, just and his ability, just absolutely stellar player from what I've heard. I've seen some of the highlights. He's
Yeah,
got the
he's a
fit,
great.
he's got the size, the physicality, the skill. He goes number 2 to Guelph. He's going to get a lot of ice time really quickly in that organization, and everywhere he goes, he's been very successful this year. He's currently playing with the Leamington Flyers during their playoff run, as well as played with the Sun County Panthers U16 team. So, Tristan, what do you know about Yako, and what do you think his potential could be in the Guelph Storm system?
Well, I think about the fact that his first OHL game, or sorry, OJHL game this past year, he scored. So,
Shocker.
and he played, I think he played second line and he did miss a beat. It's just a kid who's 16 years old. He's like 6'1", already 180 pounds.
Yep.
He's got a build to him that is OHL ready. And you got to think if he puts whatever 5-10 pounds on with a conditioning coach in the summer, he's going to be ready to roll. Fantastic skater for his height, especially for a kid who's 16. He's already grown to that height. Maybe he gets to 6'2" or 6'3". Who knows? Some of these kids grow later as well, right? So he's a great skater. And the thing that's effective about him, I watched his little draft profile going into tonight. Tecumseh native. But most of all, what I like is his player comparison. He compared himself to Sasha Barkov. So Alexander Barkov in the NHL.
Hell yeah.
That's like, you want to talk about someone who is intangible to a team. He's helped win them their cup and to the cup finals, right? Man, that is a kid you want. He's so good at both ends. Yako is the same way, like stick lifts and turns and burns with the puck, and just his awareness on the ice. It's that hockey IQ. It's that untrainable thing, right? That aspect of the game. Like you think back, they're relatively similar size as well, and he's at NHL drafted now. Ryan McPherson, very, very similar player. And Yako is just a bit more lanky. He's got the better reach. For the Guelph Storm, you're getting a good one. And he keeps the local connection going with Guelph. They already have Charlie Paquette, who's an Essex native, and Zachary Jovanovski of Windsor. So great pipeline from the Windsor area into that Guelph Storm club. I hope they can return to some at least moderate success as time goes on in the next couple of years, and we get to see Yako play there.
Yeah, I'm be really excited too. One thing could be interesting to see Matt Crawford play for Peterborough next year and Yako Wysick play for Guelph, two of our local guys here.
Did Yako, did he come from the U16 Sun County?
Yes, I was just going to say, his head coach really well.
Kersey.
Zach actually spoke on him, I think, in his draft profile.
Zach is like, he's one of those guys. He always has his guys ready for the next level. He's just really good at doing that. And I guarantee you, obviously, we all seen this kid by his numbers and just how he plays and this and that Zach has had him ready to go. Zach actually talked to me about him a couple months ago. He said, hey, we got this kid. Obviously, you had already kind of had a beat on him already.
Oh, yeah.
But it was...
he's dominated for years coming into this tournament. He's played 2 years up every single age group he's been in with Triple.
Zach spoke very highly of him. And just what else can I say? You hit everything on the head. This kid's going to be phenomenal. Guelph, you got a good one. You're going to love it. This kid's got some size. He's got some skill. He's got a shot. He knows how to play the puck. He wins those battles. You got a good one. So enjoy that.
A couple other players that now that I'm looking at things, a couple other players from the area got drafted. The first 3 rounds just concluded. That's how quick and on time on things we are here. That's what we do at the Hat Trick Hockey Podcast, guys. We're doing live updates here. Another guy from that U16 Sun County Panthers team, Eamon Edgar, EAMONEDGR, Eamon Edgar. He got picked up from Barrie. That pick was originally Saginaw's, but Barrie got it in a trade. He's 5'9.5". He's 160 pounds. Comes out of Bell River, Ontario. Another Sun County U16 kid. So that's a Zach Percy product, right?
Yeah.
That'd be his team. And so he went number 35 overall to Barrie, so he's going to go to the Eastern Conference. And then the final person from the area to get picked up was in round number 3. It was the last pick of the 3rd round, and a guy named Braden Lapalainen from the Sun County Panthers U16 team also got
I know
picked.
that name.
3 of them. Three of Pac's
yeah.
kids drafted. Boom.
And not just that, you got to think.
To Flint.
Last year, Zach Percy coached Eddie Hickson, who went to the London Knights.
Yeah.
And had a massive year. He got Rookie of the Year for the PJHL in his division, and was fantastic for the London Nationals. So Zach Percy, he knows what he's doing. Does he get a sniff at the B level, the A level? We'll see. He's a great coach, though.
He absolutely should. 100% he should.
Just quick stats for Braden Lapalainen, 5'11 and a quarter, 171. He's a left winger out of Tecumseh. He plays for the U16 Sun County Panthers. And actually, I will correct myself. One more local kid at number 53, Reed Hayes, went to the Ottawa 67s. He's a 5'11 centerman. He's 160 pounds out of LaSalle, and he plays for Windsor AAA Zone U16. Yeah. So 4 area kids.
It was a AAA zone that was drafted, and I was wondering if you were going to pick up on that. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Reed Hayes is the 4th person taken in the draft in the first 3 rounds. Pretty solid. Obviously, we're not a big center like Toronto or Ottawa or any of those big places, but we do send our boys to the OHL. So congratulations to those young players and to their coaches on getting them.
And that's only the players who are obviously drafted. You got to expect there's a couple of guys who will be invited to camps.
100%.
Who come up these programs, like BioSteel particularly. Yeah. I'd have to imagine some OHL club might tell Santiago Jimenez, hey, you lit it up this year. You go undrafted, you're U16, but you put up like over 100 points with a U18 AAA club. So, right? Obviously, last year would have been his draft year. He went undrafted then, showed up big this year, and that kid is, not that there'd be scouts listening to this, but that kid is ready to play in the OHL. If you ask me, I'm looking at him. He's 5'11 and 185 pounds. Like he's built, he's solid, and it's muscle as well. That kid's not. I don't think he's into any unhealthy habits in any form of his lifestyle. Yep. He seems to be. And you know what else demonstrates humility? I'm going to talk about it today. So a couple discussions happened today with Santi, talking about his goal. We uploaded his goal. Everyone go online, check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Cannon of a shot. Hardest shot I've seen come out of anyone, just a wrist shot. Pulled it in the inside, went right under the bar, in and out. But what I wanted to give him credit for was his humility, and that there's a new feature on Instagram where you can invite someone to collaborate. So when you post, it shows up on their feed as well as though they posted, right?
Yep.
And it was the post we made. He got highlighted as one of the players of the series, guys. The last couple games, he had 2 multi-point games to close out the series, 3 multi-point games in the series. Just showed up fantastic for the 73s. So after I made that post, I reached out to him because I'm the one who runs the account. And I said, hey, I offered you to accept it. Do you want to take it? And he goes, you know what, Tristan, I really appreciate the offer, but that's just not my style. That's not who I am as a person. I'm not going to convey it. I appreciate that you guys recognize my accolades, but I'm not going to try and shove it in anyone else's face. So props to you, Santi, for that. Cool. But it was funny because after I uploaded that goal, he was all eager and he goes, hey, how do I accept the invitation to collaborate? He wanted that one to be shown. So
he wanted that rip.
He wanted to make sure that one got it.
Yeah.
But
hey, you know that one where I rip it bar down? Hey, can you text?
Exactly. You know the one where I went bar Mexico? Yeah, you just let's just collaborate on that.
Yeah, let's put that one in there though. I'm more than eager for that.
That one's for the babes.
That sounds like an HTH boy myself. That sounds funny.
Yeah.
That's not the end of the OHL draft. That was just pick number 63. There are 303 picks in the OHL draft. So who knows where some other local players are going to go. And a lot of players don't get picked up and they get undrafted and they get signed as a training camp guy or they become an organizational guy. And within 2 years, they're in the OHL.
Yeah.
So some of these guys could very well, maybe take the harder road, maybe the less glamorous road, but they can still get to the OHL even if they're not drafted. So
Seriously.
so keep your head up, kids.
Shout out Zach too for having those boys ready.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So good on you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Keeping with the OHL, obviously anyone from the area that was drafted or anything like that, congratulations to you guys. Let's focus on our OHL team. The Windsor Spitfires took down the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds in 5 games as we expected. Well, we won't any time on that series because we are fresh in the OHL second round against the Kitchener Rangers and Windsor. I mean, I was surprised at this result. They pick up a 5-1 win in game 1 of their series with the Kitchener Rangers. Gentlemen, what was your reaction to game 1, Windsor and Kitchener?
Did you see who scored twice?
No, no. 10 goals already in the playoffs. Very interesting.
My boy.
Yeah, and he's performed big when obviously in the first series, Spellacy goes down and you need that center depth. Morneau's been there. Spends time on the wing and at center, and he's just a jack of all trades. Yeah. And well, this series he's been the past 2, he's been a sniper. So guess what? As long as he keeps playing his game, we should be fine. We handled that Rangers club a lot better than I thought we were gonna, especially considering our injuries we have right now.
Yes.
Morneau there, I figured like the last probably 5 games of the regular season in the first round of the playoffs, he really caught fire big time. He had a couple hat tricks. I think he had a Gordie Howe in there. He's just really upped his game at the perfect time, which has really helped the Spits, like you were saying, with all the injuries out, or all the guys out, sorry, with all the injuries. So him kind of stepping up at the right time has really filled the void in the lineup with the Spits. That has really helped them, which now has them 1 game up on the Rangers, right? So.
Yeah, it was a very strange couple of days leading into it because we're learning about all of these injuries that the Spitfires were having. Like they had to call up Andrew Robinson at the end of the regular season, their guy from their 3rd round pick who played in the OJHL. He had a very successful season in the OJ. He was the top scoring rookie defenseman in that league. He had 34 points. He got his first goal in this game set. First ever OHL goal. He scores the opening goal in round 2, game 1 of the playoffs. Absolutely unreal.
They're getting stage and all. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely from the on the unlikeliest sources, we're getting some interesting sparks here, right? Ryan Abraham with a fantastic individual effort just to poke it over to Robinson, sneaking in on the back door to tap it in, but before that, the day before the game, we learned that Carson Woodall's is gonna be hurt. They call up Grady Spicer, their 4th round pick, a kid that was playing in the CCHL. His season's done. He plays his OHL debut in round 2 of the playoffs. If I had told you all those things going on before the game, and then you said, okay, they lost 4-1 or 3-2 or 4-2, whatever, and you say, oh, they lost game 1, you'd be like, okay, that makes sense. No, they won 5-1, and they just absolutely kicked ass and looked good doing it. They didn't kill it overly with the shots, they didn't destroy Kitchener in that regard or anything, but they just absolutely didn't miss. When they had those tap-ins, when they had those open lanes, they just didn't miss. It's like that meme with Snoop Dogg. This dude doesn't miss.
That just shows you the poise of some of these young kids that can just come in and play big games and be themselves and play their game and not make mistakes. The OHL is a hard league, man. And we're at games, we see games, we see a bunch of games this year. And it's fast-paced, it's hard-hitting. And for these kids to come up at such a young age and play big games like this is very impressive. And not to mention to come in and make an impact as well, to score the opening goal of a series, to get the Spits going and stuff like that. That's huge, man. And now the kid too, now he can just play. I got my goal. No one can ever take that away from you. You know what I mean? So get it out of the way early, focus in, settle in on your game, and help the boys win some hockey games.
For sure. And like obviously it's just one game. You got to win 4 to move on to this series, but a big start, like a great start like this can be absolutely crucial for a Windsor Spitfires team that really I feel more so than like is kind of like cliche. Like they feed off of momentum of playing well. Like they play well in the first game. They're most likely going to play well in the second game, right?
Oh,
If they don't play,
you think they feed off momentum, do you?
yeah.
All the times we went and watched their games where it was like, I don't even want to talk about that. Good
Well,
Lord.
yeah, and it seems like for like obviously this is it's Sault Ste. Marie and then it's only one game against Kitchener, but they seem to be playing, at least in this game one, they seem to be playing much better defensively than we saw in the regular season.
You know those games that therapists, I don't want to say play with their patients, but they kind of do with them where it's like word association. So I'll say a word and you say the first word that comes to your mind. When you say Windsor Spitfires, I think inconsistency. And so we're losing the next game 7-2. I'll tell you that. I think, no, like seriously, that's what it is. And with that decor, guess what? Sorry, Joey Costanzo, he's gonna crack at some point. Like you're gonna face a ton of shots. This is not a lighthearted Rangers team. So
Are you hungry?
no, I'm not. Although I'm like allergic right now, so I've been rubbing my eye the whole episode.
I'm just checking.
So I'm just ready to
Because you just seem a little moody.
crack out. Oh yeah.
I'm kind of asking over here, but I hope they can put 2 good games in a row and maybe possibly have a 2-0 series lead. But it helps winning that first game because I'll tell you, you don't want to go back to Kitchener down 2. It's okay to be, to be 1-1, but to go there 2-0 would be obviously ideal. But like we had said earlier, it's going to sound cliche, but just take it a game at a time. And what else can you really do? Just focus in, lock in, game at a time, do your job, pucks off the glass, get it out of your end, and pray for the best. Like I don't, right? Like because we got a lot of injuries, man.
You can only play that game so long. Though.
I know it only works for so long, but wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Well, the Windsor Spitfires are going to host game 2 of their Western Conference second round matchup with the Kitchener Rangers. That game is Saturday, April 12th at Windsor at 7:00. They're going to go to Kitchener on Monday and Wednesday, the 14th and the 16th at the Odd before coming back to Windsor, at least for one game.
Yeah.
Right? Because they win the game 1 there. They at least keep themselves alive for a Friday night game, April 18th. Kitchener at Windsor. Game 6, if necessary, would be Sunday, April the 20th, Easter Sunday. May he has risen. And Game 7, if necessary, would be Tuesday, April 22nd, back at Windsor. Any thoughts on the playoff series ahead of us or anything else in the OHL?
Yeah, I don't. Sorry, I know we worked for the Spitfires and stuff, but it's like
we work for the station.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
we're associated with the
in that case, Windsor, you're cooked. You can't get that many injuries. You can't get that many injuries and expect to win an OHL trophy, right?
When I was originally thinking about this series, I thought that maybe Kitchener. When I originally thought about this series, I thought that it would possibly be Kitchener in 6. Kitchener in 6 or 7. But just because these are 2 very even teams and it could go either way, if Kitchener's going to win, they're going to turn it on and they're going to win it within 6.
Yeah, we're not.
If Windsor wins, they're going to have to take care of things early or they're going to have to hold on until game 7.
This next game's huge. Like if Windsor can win it, it'd be like huge.
I'm telling you, we're getting pumped. It's not even a question in my mind. That's why I was so mad when we won that game. If we won a tight game, maybe we can muster a similar performance. But this team we get so pompous when we're up. Like it's a wonder to me that we didn't blow that lead in the third period. It's like you watch next game, we'll be up 2-0 and we lose that game. It's gonna happen. That's just I don't know. I lost all hope. If it was Saginaw, we'd be swept by now. Like even though they're gone. I know. So how about that? I can't believe Saginaw fell apart. That was the biggest surprise to me so far ever.
But
I couldn't believe it.
But it put what's his name up into the NHL, Perek.
Yeah, well, I still can't believe that though. Like,
Yeah,
here's this
so
team,
Erie
and it's
won
like,
that series against Saginaw 4-1. So that was wild. And they scored like 33, like as many goals as Essex did against Petrolia. Erie scored against Saginaw.
yeah, I know Erie lit them up like
I'm
a
being
Christmas
serious.
tree.
I'm being like the numbers are very similar.
There you go. Lit them up like a Christmas tree. More
Yeah.
like an oak tree. There you go.
Like
Andrew Oak.
like a
What do you got?
crispy tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
London is playing.
Good one there, buddy. Write some cards. This guy.
I mean, we kind of want it. I can get a little crispy and we can figure it out.
Crispy. London is playing Erie in that series. Barrie is playing Kingston, and Brantford is playing the Oshawa Generals. Any other thoughts about the OHL before we talk about the Great Eight becoming the greatest goal scorer in the modern era?
I love how Brett says in the modern era. It makes me feel so good. That's the warm hug you were talking about, man.
Okay, so how do you feel about this? Like, are you mad that he passed him?
No, I like it.
Okay, I don't
It's
mind
Just
that.
mad that Mike Bossy was robbed in his prime.
Yeah.
Pat says that shit all the time.
Pat says it? Okay.
Oh, I've heard your dad say it.
Okay.
This guy needs a fucking hug right now.
But
Brett, get over here. Group
no,
hug.
I say it just as much. It's
Well, Bossy.
yeah, my dad was the one who put me on to Mike Bossy years ago.
Mhm.
I remember I had like a hockey book and Mike Bossy's got a little corner of a page in there. Well, Wayne Gretzky's got 4 pages in a row. I'm happy this kind of shuts Wayne up a little bit. He gets a little bit under my nerves sometimes, especially with that whole Team Canada walking by the bench fiasco.
Wear the jersey, Wayne. Fuck's sakes.
But anyway,
Happy for
well, first off, for Ovechkin, I think it's the most impressive thing that a goal scorer has ever done, ever, because he's done it, as you said, in the modern era, and he actually beat it. We're not sitting here saying woulda, shoulda, coulda. He did it.
Yeah.
Laser of a shot. It was an 85-mile-an-hour wrist shot from the top of the circle. Labeled it.
Yeah.
And here we are, 895 goals and counting for the Great Eight.
You want to know something even more impressive? Was earlier this year, he was like me. He broke his fucking leg.
But
So true.
can you believe it? Wayne Gretzky is only 1 goal away from tying Alex Ovechkin
Strap him up,
for the
Wayne.
greatest goal scorer of all time.
Strap him up, Wayne.
How many games does it take Wayne Gretzky to come back and become the greatest goal scorer of all time?
It'll be like Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire.
Yeah, exactly. Race to 50, right? And then did they both crack 60 that year?
I think so. Yeah, they both.
That was unbelievable. No one beat it for
62. They passed.
No one beat the record for like 30 plus years, and then 2 guys beat it in 1 season. That was a help from a little something called Diana Ball.
Yeah.
It's a steroid, but anyway.
Dingers.
Yeah, Obi though.
Dingers.
For a guy to break his leg at his age and come back and still score 40 goals, pass the all-time record.
What is it with all these greatest goal scorers of all time breaking their legs? Alex Ovechkin, Steven Stamkos, Anthony Gaudette. Like,
So
all
true.
these guys.
Right here, boys.
Just robbed.
I know.
Bullshit.
Oh. He could
Bullshit.
have made the show at 39 years old.
Oh, I'm way
Could
too
you
old.
imagine?
I'm way too old and fat. If the show is like Sunday afternoons and Harrow and me, touching some quads after the game in the dressing room, but that's about
I
it.
remember Ant sent me a highlight of him turning this 62-year-old guy inside out. It was all
He was 59. He was 59. No, he wasn't 59. That was only a shot, by the way. I'm gonna get
For context for
on
people,
the
what
ice
Alex
after-
The
Ovechkin did.
goaltender was a 17-year-old girl. It was just
fucking ready. Guess what? I went Bar Mexico on her too. I don't care.
Yeah.
no,
Just for context for people at home to know what Alex Ovechkin has done, you would have to average 45 goals per year for 20 years to get to 900 career goals, and that's what he is very close to getting to.
Guess you averaged 57 goals 9 years in a row. Sorry, 8 years in a row.
Mike Bossy.
Bossy of Montreal, Quebec. You know who else? I'll always put this in as an honorable mention for one of the greatest pure goal scorers of all time. now that my nose is completely plugged and my voice sounds completely different from the start of the episode. Pavel Bure, the Russian Rocket, one of the fastest skaters of all time. He only played like 50 games a season. It would seem like he was constantly getting hurt. He would get blown up. Because that Vancouver team, they would like to get rough. And unfortunately, he was the smallest guy on the team. You remember Trevor Linden. He was a tough gun. Played alongside.
Remember what he did to Churla? Shane Churla in Dallas? The mother of all elbows.
Yes. Oh, man.
Bure destroyed him. Put him into 2 weeks later.
That was a tough Vancouver club.
Yeah.
But you think back, I just want to make the point. Pavel Bure, that guy plays a healthy career. I think he gets upwards of 850 goals easily. Especially if he continues to play with good line mates. You know, he gets traded to Florida or signs in Florida, and his career kind of takes a little bit of a turn. They were in a very successful franchise at that time. But nevertheless, one of the greats. That's all I have to say. Congrats to Ovechkin.
So quick thing, yes or no from you guys. Does Matthews pass Ovi?
Not a chance.
Because that's what I keep hearing rumblings of.
Austin Matthews doesn't get more than 750 goals in his career.
There you go. You heard it here first.
He won't. There's no way that Austin Matthews will play 20 years.
No. Austin Matthews' hairline didn't even last 5 years.
I'm saying that he won't last as long as Ovi did. Like, no one's going to play 20 years no more. These guys are going to get to 12, 13, 14 years. They're going to finish their max contracts and they're going to retire.
The other thing, too, is Ovi has all those goals, but guess what? He has over 3,300 hits over his career, too. So how many guys have done that? So for everybody, it's like, oh, he's a goal scorer. No, Ovi plays hard. That guy is a savage. He will rip your head off. He'll knock you out, which we've seen. He put Buddy, hit the
Andre Svechnikov.
Hit the snooze button on him. Good night. But then he's just one of those guys. He's a jack of all trades. He can score. He'll hit the shit out of you. He'll fight you. Then he'll go in the room and sip about 30 beers. Like, that's just the way he is. And
hands will make good beer.
He's an NHL guy in a beer leaguer's body. That's what he is. The guy's a truck. He's like 240. But he's it's very impressive what he's done for such a long time, and for him to pass the great one, they say.
That's like this song by Boney M. There was a certain man in Russia long ago.
Oh, I wouldn't even know that.
Strong, and his eyes are flaming.
Oh, I know what one you're talking about now. That was a good old TikTok. Yeah.
Exactly. No, but he's the big man from Russia, and he got it done on the one man who he had not scored on yet in his career, Ilya Sorokin, for fellow Russian. And he actually had a whole thing with like Sorokin after the game. He got him to like sign his stick, and it was pretty cool. I mean, Sorokin was probably like, "Bro, this is like embarrassing. I'm the guy." Like, everyone will always remember being the guy. Everyone remembers John Casey letting in Steve Eisman's bar down. Yeah, standing straight up.
Yeah, but that was like picked.
So that was a piss missile.
Perfect shot.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is that the crowd in New York reacting the way that they did for Ovi was really cool as well.
Okay, I want to ask. Sorry, finish your point. I will ask her.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I thought it was really cool that they celebrated like there was the Game 7, Stanley Cup.
What are your thoughts on them stopping the game in the middle of the game?
I mean, it's got to happen.
Yeah,
I don't like how it was for so long. Like, I think they said it was like 13 or 14 minutes or something the game was stopped for. I mean, something like that, if you know that it's going to happen or you have everything ready, so where it's just boom, boom, boom. It's like 5-6 minutes. Have him go out there, say a little speech or whatever, shake hands with everybody, let's drop the puck again.
See, here's my thought process. You're living in an era, so they stopped the game when Wayne Gretzky did it. Yeah. When he passes Gordie Howe. I also thought it was nice that Wayne wore a little pin to honor Gordie. That was cool. Yeah. But you're in an age where you've got all this lighting and holographic stuff you can do. Do like a sick presentation on the ice for like 30 seconds of a highlight of all Ovi's best goals or whatever on the ice. You know where they could do like a projector,
like
make the lights
hologram.
go black, have the fans have all these glowing 8 sticks, do something like that. That has production value, and then you come back to play like a max 2 minutes later. And like a passing of the torch graphic from Wayne Gretzky. Then after the game, you have a presentation of here's this watch that's symbolic of me passing the torch, and here's my stick when I scored whatever my 809 or 812 or whatever it was. Yeah, stuff like that,
Crispy.
Yeah, I think maybe what would have been a little bit better is if they, like, if it was at a certain point of the game, like of the period, we'll say, okay, we're gonna do the presentation and it's intermission. Like we're gonna do like just, or you know how sometimes they'll, if there's a break in the period, like when we do Sunday leagues, like they did the scrape
Yeah.
in the first and not between the third period, that kind of thing. Like I think
Exactly.
that might have been able to do to kind of
Then
work
if you
the
do that,
timing out a little bit, but
where do you do any type of ceremony though? Because if they're scraping the ice, then where do you do it?
no, I'm just saying, like, after the ceremony's done, just say,
Oh,
okay, hey, we're just gonna scrape the ice.
now
We're
we're
gonna
gonna do the
continue.
intermission.
Like,
Or if they do, like, if a scrape isn't necessary, do it when you cut the commercial.
yeah,
They
Yeah,
wouldn't
like-
have enough time.
Like, no, well, what's the average commercial runtime? 4 minutes?
Yeah, roughly.
So you do it then. That's not like you just come, you already have everything prepped. Or you
Yeah.
say, hey, we're going to take a bit longer, like, 5 to 10 minutes. But it was like 15 to 20 minutes. They're stopped here. And Wayne's like, what's up with Wayne Gretzky's wife? She looks like a Barbie doll, too. They like took 20 years. They just took 20 years off of her. I was like, that's
AI,
not
bro.
the same person. She looks as young as his daughter.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Botox is a
Wayne
crazy
Gretzky.
thing. You
His
think all those
eyebrows
people,
are
all those
almost up
millions
in
of
his
dollars don't
hairline.
have anti-aging medications and stuff?
Right. Well, I don't even know.
Just look at your dad. The guy looks like he's 30.
Yeah, no shit. He looks younger than I do, for fuck's sakes.
He's sitting right over there, silent as can be.
Well, I'm sure he's getting tired too. Do you guys have anything else that you want to add or anything that we missed that you want to talk about on the episode 191 of the Hat-Trick Hockey Podcast?
Red Wings? Red Wings real quick?
Oh yeah, Red Wings suck and the Senators are better than them.
Hey,
win.
who won Montreal tonight?
I don't know.
I think Ottawa was up last time I seen.
So if Montreal lost and the Red Wings did win tonight, we have like a point. Did Ottawa win?
I'm looking it up.
Okay. Well, it's almost like
What's
the internet's
the
fast.
scenario?
So if
Detroit won 4-3 in a shootout
know
and
that.
Ottawa won 5-2.
in regulation, so the Wings are still in it by like 0.1%.
So you're
Yes.
saying there's a chance.
We need Montreal to lose every game in regulation, and the Wings need to win them.
So we're fucked.
And then
Yeah.
we'd have the tiebreaker. But we also won this in a shootout, so we have to win our next 3 in regulation. So that's even less than a 0.1% chance now. It's like, oh, boys. No, we screwed ourselves with those big losses to Columbus back in March when I went and watched.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the refs messed us up in that one. But
So you're saying it's your fault?
yeah, I am. Actually, I'm saying it's the Ohio State University's fault.
Yeah.
We could always pin it on them.
The horse.
So,
Lee Harris, it's your fault.
let's pin it on the Ohio State Buckeyes.
It's your fault, Lee.
The Ohio State.
What do you guys
Give me
think?
a break.
What do you guys think about Steve Eiserman?
What? Oh, is he
One
staying?
more year.
You
Keep
guys,
Steve.
you guys want my honest opinion?
Yeah,
You guys might not like it.
It wants him gone.
I'd fire him.
really?
I would.
Well, it's a good thing you're not in the 73
Listen,
set office.
the only reason being is why I would is because it's been fucking how many years? We have 14 goalies, 60 man,
Wow.
and 7 forwards, and we have not even sniffed the playoffs in 7 years. Like when is it enough?
Well, we win a couple
That's what I
cups and
want.
you're sitting there with your thumb looking like a dummy.
We have to get in the fucking playoffs in order to
We will.
play for a Stanley
We
Cup.
will.
We can't even get in the playoffs.
Steve said, "Do you guys want to
Playoffs. We can't even win a game.
Steve said, do you want to get into the playoffs and get bounced 3 years in a row and then your cup window's gone, which was never even a real cup window, or do you want to win 4 cups in a row? You might not like waiting.
I'm fucking impatient, dude. And like I don't like this 7 years. Maybe it's because I was so spoiled with 25 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But still,
something has to come out as a balance.
We're the modern day fucking Leafs. Like, what's going on here?
No,
bro. We're not even sniffing the playoffs.
And you're forgetting we won a cup in 2008. The Leafs won in 1967.
That was 17 years ago, dude.
Yeah. Oh, so you want to be like the Leafs and lose 5 years in a row in the first round? Then you'd be real happy.
Oh yeah.
Then you'd be real happy.
Leafs is Hey, Tristan, how old were you 17 years ago?
4.
Do you remember that cup?
2008?
Yeah.
I was 5, but yeah.
Do you remember it?
Yes. That's what made me a Wings fan.
There you go.
I watched it with actually my cousin Brandon. I was over at my Aunt Irene's house. Shout out Brandon. I know he listens to the show sometimes. And I remember watching it on the TV. I think my Aunt Irene was babysitting me.
D-Max.
It's always a bandwagon, believe it or not, but I've stuck with it. So
D-Mac's gonna kill me for that hot take, but you know what? I'm just tired of seeing the same shit every season. I'm just tired.
It's not the same though. We've progressed every year.
We sign old guys to fucking 4-year deals.
Boy.
And then we sign 16 goalies.
You know what's gonna happen, Ant?
16 goalies.
The way Steve Yzerman has set up this team is we are going to have the biggest points jump in probably league history. Just you wait. We're going to, 2 years from now, we're going to win the President's Trophy. And everyone's going to be like, what? What happened? You know why? Because we're going to have the 7 best rookies in the league.
Okay, but is Yzerman still going to be the GM then?
He might not be.
But
guess what? He's going to have drafted every single player that's on that team when we win a cup.
I don't know, man. I don't like what Tampa so quick. Like, why is it not happening here?
Because he didn't have Steven Stamkos to walk into.
He tried to get him over to the Wings this past offseason. He was trying to get him, or at the trade deadline.
I'm talking about a 22-year-old.
No, I know, Stamkos. But I mean, he was trying to get him.
Don't even start with me. You've already made me mad with this. Oh, Stevie should be out.
Hey, I'd can him. I'm not
really.
lying.
You would.
I would can him.
All right. Well,
we're gonna finish the show, and you guys are gonna.
Tristan's getting fired. Me and Chris are gonna go off the air. We're gonna fucking plug it out.
Coach Potato Thoughts. Get the crowds off.
Hey.
No. So you're telling me this?
I can.
Ooh,
straight up, I would. Just
to be the hot take.
No, there's no results, dude. There's no fucking results.
Really?
There's nothing.
Really? What about we've averaged an average of
Dude,
5+ points each season gained in the standings?
And we have a goalie in the minors that's been sitting there for 2 years ready to come up.
Do you know how long Jordan Binnington was in the minors? 7 years.
Is this St. Louis or is this the Wings? This isn't St.
Louis. Okay.
We have 2 fucking goalies that one
Jimmy
guy
Howard was in the minors for like 6 years.
We had watched a goal slide through fucking Lions' legs tonight that was about 4 miles an hour.
It got poked in.
But it was 4 miles an hour.
It got poked in.
At 4 miles an hour.
Watch hockey more closely.
4 miles an hour. Ethan shoots it faster.
Alex Lyon he did a great job last year for us in the playoffs. I think Nedeljkovic was a mistake. Should have snipped that one out. But
why are we bringing back Mrazek?
Because you have him on contract next year for 4.25. They're not under Calvin's
We had 2 unhealthy goalies in a roster that was unserviceable enough to play in front of Sebastian Cossa. We don't want to ruin him. Look at what happened with Mikey DiPietro. Play it safe. Play Cossa in favorable situations. Let him dominate. Right?
I don't know. Fuck it.
We also have Trey Augustine, who's returning next year to Michigan because it's anticipated that Cossa, much to your chagrin, might stay in Grand Rapids next year.
Shocker. But we'll sign 3 other guys for the Red Bulls.
We did. We just signed a guy from Sweden. How does that make you feel?
Fuck. Bring in another goalie.
There you go.
Bring one in from Russia, too. Fuck it. Bring him in with some Russian gas, too. You shoot it straight in our pooper when we don't make the playoffs.
I want to see Tristan on Russian gas.
Tristan's getting better. I can feel the heat coming off of him right now.
As soon as he said get rid of Stevie, it tells me about how much you know about Detroit Red Wings.
No, it's just I'm sick of the same shit. Different.
Go look up our draft picks. Dmitry Vyachelnikov just broke the U22 scoring record in the KHL. He's going to be like Kirill Kaprizov. We're going to have a 40 goal scorer. Bam, into our lineup. How's that going to feel?
Well, where is he right now?
In the KHL.
That helps us.
This guy just thinks, we can get any player we want.
Well, it's pro. Come over here and play pro then. Lots of guys come out of the KHL and come over here and play pro.
Kirill Kaprizov was 22 when he came over.
Is he more Kaprizov or is he more Nail Yakupov?
No, he's not.
Yakupov.
This kid's in between. He won't be. I don't think he'll be Kaprizov, but I think he'll be very comparable to some good players from Russia that we've had in this league. He had higher points than Nikita Kucherov and Kirill Kaprizov and Artemi Panarin.
The bread man.
Yeah. So, and I think all three of those guys are synonymous with being top 10 players in the NHL. So that says enough about Vyachelnikov. Even if he's not an all-star for us, he could sure as heck be a third liner who gets you 20 goals a season. So I'll be more than happy with that. We got Amadeus Lombardi. We've got Carter Mazer. We've already got Casper in the wings. We've already got Danielson playing with Grand Rapids, who's come alive. We've got all these blue liners. Wallinder, Axel Sandin Pelika, who's going to be like Kel McCarr. Obviously, no one's on Kel McCarr's level, but I think he'll be very similar to Lane Hudson, who's been Rookie of the Year, arguably this year.
We should sign a goalie.
Just one more. I wish we had signed Linus Ullmark like the
Why don't we just put
Senators
5
did.
goalies on the ice? Let's just put 5 fucking goalies on the ice. Let's just do that.
Let's just leave Ant sitting in the garage so he can't make
I'll just
run off his decisions.
I'll just light up.
Are we gonna let Drew take a victory lap because the Senators are in the playoffs for the first time in a long time?
They're in the playoffs. What are we doing?
Exactly.
Watching them play in the playoffs.
You know what? Props to Ottawa because they figured it out and the Wings didn't.
Ullmark was huge though.
And that's not on Yzerman. That's an internal thing. You either want it or you don't. You either win the games or you don't. Stevie can't exactly lace them up.
You're the guy at the helm.
Yeah?
Don't make me comb my fucking funny hair over and fucking paint myself orange, okay? Because I'll fucking do it.
I agree. I agree. His free agent signings have been poor. But yeah.
Tarasenko, terrible.
Yeah.
Shoot him to the moon.
I'm talking more about our defense, like Justin Hull, Ben Sherratt, and
gone.
Oh my gosh, Jeff Petrie.
Gone.
He's the worst of the 3.
I could play D fucking, what's going on here? Shot blocker.
Bigger isn't better. And I think that's one thing that Steve has had a problem with. But that's not even Steve. That's our professional scouts. Who are, guess what? A bunch of old heads. Got to get them out of there. I don't know why Lidstrom hasn't made more vocal decisions in the organization.
Like Draper, like all those guys too. Like
Drapes is amateur scouting.
Yeah, so. But still though, came in as one of the best deals in Red Wing history for $1. And he was one of the best, I think, two-way centermen.
I think we've said enough on that. We're pretty much out of the playoffs at this point. We're pretty much going to get a crap draft pick too. So shocker, Wings mediocrity. Like I said, maybe one more year of this league. I'm telling you, we probably miss next year too. Because I don't think Steve wants to overdo anything. He's got to save money for when we got to pay and keep all these good players.
Yeah, you're right.
We got to save money for when we have to fork out the bank for Edmonton.
Okay, so then why don't we use...
And I think that's why Ann is frustrated because we seem like we're in purgatory right now. He doesn't want to wait until 28, 29 for us to be good. He wants them to be good in 26.
2027, we win the President's Trophy and we finish top 4 in the playoffs, in the Final Four. I think.
Fuck, and you said I was a hot take of him getting fired. Shit!
It's not a hot take. You look at the people who are waiting, we got the best prospect pipeline in the league. That's biased, but even still, you can't argue when you look at. We got Emmett Finney. Emmett Finney's a 7th round draft pick coming from the Saskatoon Blades. We signed him to a pro contract. Elmer Soderblom, 7th round draft pick, plays in the NHL. You can't just say, well, Steve's not a good GM. Are you kidding me? What other team has 2 7th-round draft picks in their system and guys from each round playing for their club? Like, no one.
I don't know. We're not playing in any round.
I know what round we're not playing in.
Yeah, we're not playing any round of the playoffs. My skin's turning orange here, dude. My hair's starting to grow up a little.
What is the Trump conciliation? Like, what's the?
He says you're fired. That's why.
Oh,
there you go.
Fun fact.
Welcome back.
After that show, what's the name of the show again?
The Apprentice.
Yeah, The Apprentice. You know who ran it after Trump left to pursue politics for a short while? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Get out. That's how we fired.
You're fired.
Get out.
Go.
I'm gonna go watch Predator just because you talked about Arnold.
Anyway, all right.
Get to the chopper.
No way. I remember I said that because I thought Eichler was German, but it turns out he's Czech.
Yes, you did say that.
Or no, I thought he was Austrian.
Eichler, get to the chopper. I was like, he's from Czechia, Tristan. Like, oh yeah.
My bad. Sorry, Joseph.
And Arnold is from Austria.
Yeah, he's from Austria. We don't have that much sand in Austria. But anyway, all right. That's enough of us just yapping away.
Okay, Ant's mad. Tristan is.
I'm gonna fight him as soon as we get off there.
And I think you and Leaf fans get along.
Me and the fucking see those welding glasses up there? They're coming off as soon as I hit the fucking stop button.
All right, Tiny Tim, get up.
Let's go. I'm coming. Get your crutch ready.
That's awesome.
I'm coming. Don't worry.
I'm going, Bubba.
Yeah.
I'm coming. Screw McDuck. Gonna bring you a turkey, son.
Exactly.
You guys are fucked.
I love that.
All right, that's enough out of both of you guys. I'm going to bed. From all of us at Hattrick Hockey, make sure you tune in. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. Give us a 5-star rating. Make sure you support our sponsors. Hey, check out our new BioSteel stuff. Hey, check out our brand new merch store with all the good stuff. You can get HTH sandals, and it's almost summertime, so let's look crispy this summer. And Tristan, anything else?
I think that's all.
All right, you guys are about to fight as soon as this recording finishes. We will see you next time.
You'll get pushed over.
Yeah, exactly. Next thing I know, I get a Snapchat of Anthony just getting beat down by Tristan.
or the other way around.
Yeah,
exactly. Stop it. He's already
sizing those legs, Mel.
All right, from all of us at HGH, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Hat Trick Hockey. Good night.
I've lost my fight.